Okay, so we'll just make that go away. That's the ADF volume control. Pulling it mutes it. Right, so going to do a bit of cargo movement. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll open the back doors. I'll press M to turn on the mirror, and the binding for the doors that I'm using is, I think it's Alt Control plus G or Control Shift G, one of the two. There are a number of different controls to open the doors. You can do it continuously all the way to the bottom where you use the Control Shift G, or you can just go, I think it's Shift G to open it or close it, Control G to, and that does it in steps. So I'm going to go external, and I'm also going to freeze my track IR and bring up the menu and bring out this little window here, and I'm going to create a load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 20 A120Cs in my first box, and you'll see it sitting there, and then I'm going to get another one, and you see that the package is incremented and it's assigned to me. So then I'm going to get some 20 AIM-9Xs, and then I'll go to ground, and let's get some 10 lemurs and 10 kilos for the AH-64D, and we'll put them on. We'll put them on the rockets. I mean, we'll put them on there, but we'll go. Oh no, we'll just put them in the ammo box again, so they're the same, right? And I believe you can only get 5 into your aircraft, so I'm not going to bother getting more than 5. So now I'll go rockets, and we'll get, say, 24 of these ones, and then we'll go into air to ground, and we'll get, let's see, APK, there they are, APKWS, and we'll put 25 of those, and we'll pop them in there. So now I've got 5 boxes there, and I'm going to put them inside the aircraft by selecting them in the order that I want to take them off. And there we go. So I'll close that down, and I'll close that. Then we'll come across here, and you can see them sitting in there. Right, so I'll now put my ramp up. Now I've got a binding for this, so that's why I'm not exactly sure what the button is anymore. Right, now we go back inside. I'll turn my head gear back on, and I want to set a path. Now I'm going to turn the HSI on. I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to bring up the flight plan up here. Right, so I'm going to go full screen on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wajah Al-Hajar, and I know, pretty sure actually, it's Z190 is the code for that, and you get that from the F10 map. So we'll go F10, go up to Wajah Al-Hajar, which is just here, and you'll see it at first list up there, Z190, as in not 0. Right, so then we go back here. So I've got that in there. I'm going to set execute. And execute. No, hang on, I was in the wrong place. Put it there. And then go flight plan. And now it shows up in the list here. So I'm going to scroll down to it and set it as my direct path. And you'll see it now showing up on the on there. And it says that it's 28 nautical miles and it's off in this direction here. So it's going to be, what are we looking at, 10, 20, 30, no, not 30. Anyway, it's off that way. We'll just follow that and we'll fly up there and we'll dump these goods off there. Righto. So it usually takes about 30 on the power, which you'll see the power up there. Usually takes about 30 when it's empty, but being the fact that I've now filled it up with weapons, it'll probably take between 40 and 50. Right, so there we go. We're still just hovering on the ground, so it took about 60. So I've got a fair amount of weight in here now. Okay, so now that we've got our route selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the system panel, sitting on that one there, the instruments, and that'll give us a little bit more readout of what's going on. And I'm going to pull a bit of on the thrust lever, which is this one. You see it moving up and down at the front there. In other helicopters it's called a collective, but because it's controlling what the two rotors are doing, just increasing the lift for them. In this one it's called thrust. Okay, and again 100% is where you don't want to go over. And you can see we're doing about 120 knots, and we're sitting at about 500 feet barometric, but we're sitting at about 200 feet, or between 100, I want to sit between 100 and 200 feet with the radar altitude. And I've automatically just gone above that. I'm going to come back down. But I'm not going to do things too quickly because now I've got a lot more mass in here. So it's not going to be as nimble as it was as an empty aircraft.
Fixed wing, 8 o'clock, searching.
And you'll see that I'll just use my zoom rather than leaning in. Down here you'll see the broken line in there. That basically lets me know that I'm off course a little bit, so I'm not actually tracking on the course. So now I'm actually going to move back towards the coast a little. Anyway, that's a bit of an instruction of how to actually set a course in the CDU. What I did earlier on. I know I probably rushed through it a little bit, but if you read, it's all in the manual. Read the manual, you'll be good to go then. Right, now I'll just bring this up. Left my park brakes on. Don't need them on anyway. Right, so you'll see that for me having normal flight, I've got a little bit of negative stick going on at the moment. Now, what you want to make sure when you're setting yourself up is that you pick the type of centralized trim that you want in the options for the aircraft. Go into miscellaneous, and you'll also need to make sure you've got, if you haven't got a force feedback stick, make sure that it's turned off in the options of DCS, which you probably already got. If you haven't got one, you've probably had to do that in the last patch or the patch before, or whatever. But sometimes it just check it, because sometimes it miraculously turns itself back on. Okay, so over talking just there for a bit. And there is an autopilot that I could turn on that would be, you know, he'd be able to fly this without any dramas, except it's new. I want a hand fly. And you know, it's one of those aircraft that you're constantly making adjustments, and I'm not trimming every single time because I've got it pretty close, and my movements on the stick are very small, as you can see there. Very small amount of movement in order to get these, and I'm using the stick to counteract the rise and fall. And I could probably use the collective, or the thrust lever, but I'm trying to also stay between the 100 and 200 feet mark. And what I'm actually doing, I'm getting more feed from where I should be by looking at the radar altitude rather than looking at the that tiny little red, orange or blue line. And I'm trying to stay about 120 feet, somewhere in that region. And that's giving me the ability to minimize my climb. I'm only sort of oscillating 10-20 feet or so. Now I'm sure that if I turned on the AI pilot, that the AI pilot would keep me, you know, at the altitude that I wanted to be at, you know, whatever I set it at. But yeah, I'm enjoying flying it at the moment. And the server that I'm on is Aussie Flight Brisbane. So if you're in Australia, look it up. Mission that I'm flying in is Syria Devastation. Plenty to do if you want to fly airplanes in here. There's plenty of red air to attack. And if you want to fly helicopters, there's plenty of helicopter stuff to do. There's some convoys that spawn and run around on the roads, and they actually, if you are going up against the convoys, they're not the easiest convoys to go against, because they're fairly heavily armed and they've got big teeth. And if you don't kill them or stop them, if they get to their destination, they set up a SAM site. So it's a good idea to try and catch the catch the convoys and stop them from getting to their destination. Oh, and getting a little bit low there.
Fixed wing, 9 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 9 o'clock, searching.
Don't have to worry about that because that's a that's an AWACS that's out there over the water there. That's why it's searching and looking. And you'll see the RWR, which is just over here. It has standard symbology. If you were sort of paying any attention when they were talking, when she was telling us about the fixed wing, it actually had a little V or a tick or whatever it is at about 9 o'clock. We've got 4 kilometres to go to get to Wajah Al Hajar, and I'm going to see about doing a rolling landing. See if I can actually land it, because I haven't actually been very good at getting on the ground. Not with this much weight. Landing with no cargo in there. Had a few practice runs at it, and that was okay. But when I put some heavy cargo in there, it becomes a little bit more inclined
Fixed
to.
wing, 6 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 6 o'clock.
Once
searching.
you get inside that transitional or below the speed for the transitional lift, it tends to fall out of the sky pretty quickly if you're not right on top of it. So another reason why I'd like to try and do a rolling landing. So I'm going to start losing a bit of airspeed now, because just on the top of that plateau there, where you can see the bit of a clearing, if you're not familiar with it, that's Wajah Al Hajar. Going to try and get a little bit of extra height. Going to transfer some of the speed I've got for altitude. And you can see the runway just there.
Fixed wing, 8 o'clock, searching.
Righto. And my altitude's going to disappear on the radar altitude indicator pretty quickly, because we came up that big ridge. So now already just 30 feet from the ground. And I'm going to try and lose some of this airspeed and get the wheels on the ground. Now I haven't got my brakes on, so okay. Now, going to right. Well, let's get a little bit of okay, well this is a little bit uphill. It's probably not going to roll up here, so I guess I'll just have to hover, fly. I don't want to get too much airspeed. And I don't want to get too much elevation. Or righto. Probably should be okay to roll it and steer it. Righto, so going a little fast, but I want to try and get it in here to... Now all this stuff is not normally here. I've added this stuff to make it a little bit more interesting as a an airbase for helicopters. I'm going to go in here with this stuff. And I'm steering it with the knob down here. You can see that one turning. And this is a little bit uphill, so we'll just park it there. I'll hold the steering parking brake on and then release the pedals. That keeps our park brake there. Right, now we'll open the doors up again. As you can see, we'll open the door at the back if you're looking through the mirror. And we'll go down there. I'll just check and see. No, we've still got a little bit to go. There we go. Fully open. And then I'll bring up the arming thing, and I'll bring up this box this time. And as you can see, there is, I'll get rid of that. There is the cargo, and you'll see I'm unloading it. Boy! Still had a bit of collective going on. Oh my goodness. And there it is there at the back. Oops. See what happens when you don't put down the thrust lever and trim the aircraft off so that it doesn't lift up. Okay, so there it is. Now that'll sit there for about 2 minutes. But if we go F10 map and then come over to here, go to resources, you'll see we've got AIM-120s and now at 120 out of the original 100. We go and look for the 9Xs. 9Xs there are 120 because that's what I put there. Then we'll go air to ground and we'll look for, there we go, we got the lemurs, the 114, AGM 114 lemurs, which are 110. And if we go looking for the kilo in the same thing, which they're up there, 110. And then we had the rockets, which were the APKWS rockets. No, they weren't. The rockets we got were, I think they were heat. There we are, 24 hydras. Okay, and I need to go back to air to ground for the APKWS. But I've got to find them. No, I'm not seeing them there. They weren't here. At least they shouldn't be.
Fixed wing.
Pretty sure they were in here.
Searching. Fixed wing. 9 o'clock. Searching.
There we go. APKWS. There we are. 25 of them. So they've been added to the warehouse.
Fixed wing. 8
and we'll go back here. We'll go F2. And there you go. See, now those boxes that we placed there are gone because the cargo that we brought has been absorbed into the warehouse. And we'll just put the doors up, the rear thing up. Now, if you've got your everything set for unlimited, you won't see those numbers change. It's just that I've got things set in the mission here to be reflecting of what is actually going on. Well, that was lucky that we didn't bang into that. So now basically we could fly it back, or we can just go and have some fun. See what sort of mischief we can get up to. Righto, let's go 100% torque. Still only at 65%. There we go, there's 90 something. Right, so, ooh. I'm not sure if that was somebody just fired something at me or... Yeah, I just got sprayed with bullets. There you go, there's some damage from the damage model. We've obviously got something shooting at us. Let's have a look. Wish I could remember what the key was to turn on the AI. But it could be one of the convoys that I was talking about before. Yeah, see, there's smoke there. I mean, there's a yellow orange circle, and there's the smoke. So there we go, right there. That's what fired at us, that convoy there. So what we might do is see if we can make it back to the airfield without dying, because these guys have got all kinds of things, and I haven't got the countermeasures bound. Luckily, they're not shooting at me because I'm going around behind them.
Fixed wing, 11 o'clock, searching.
Right.
Fixed wing, 11 o'clock, searching.
And let's see if we can get into an AH-64D. See if I can land this in a hurry without dying. Still got way too much speed. Okay, I'm gonna park that up, gonna jump out, and I'm gonna go Wajah Al Hajjah. Gonna go there, and just because I can, I'm going to oh yeah, okay. Get rid of that, remove that. Myself some more guns. I'm going to reduce the weight because of the fact that I've got lots of missiles on there. I'm going to go with the Griffins. I'm going to spawn it hot because I want to get in and kill that convoy. Righto, there we go. Let's get that going. Right, that's on, we'll turn them on. Actually, I'll leave that up. Bring this in. Go that way, get there. Get the FCR powered up. Right, ground override. Go in here, turn that on. Turn down the symbology. Turn on the ACM. Just going to quickly do this because I find it much nicer to fly when you haven't got all those bright colours there. Going to turn the brightness down a little on both. Going to get George up. Going to activate him. Going to put the Hellfires on there for him. Going to turn on get the weapons armed. And I'm going to quickly turn up my reset that, turn that up, Get in here and align my HUD. Right. And we'll go back to FCR, turn on the C scope, and go into there. Yeah, that should do us. Yep. Righto, let's
Rotor
get off the
RPM
ground.
high.
Get away from that wall. And we'll turn the ground override off. Get the pinvis going. Adjust that up. I've got bindings for these on my collective, on my throttle. Not that I'm using a throttle at the moment, but... And we'll see if we can find these guys.
Target acquired.
Well, if you've acquired, start shooting, George.
Blazing. Lasers off.
Okay, so got some targets there. I'm going to take
And
over
slip.
from you now,
Dewash.
George. And I'm going to rifle. 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 Rifle.
Laser ranging. 12 o'clock.
Oi! Let's go back and rearm. Thanks for spotting them for me, George. Okay, so...
Aircraft's armed.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want you to be
Aircraft
armed.
safe.
Thank you.
Rotor RPM high.
Okay. Bring this back up. Feels okay. And we'll just rearm.
Request rearming.
Copy. Rearming complete.
Okay. Okay, so I can see the orange smoke marker already. So
Aircraft's armed. Hellfire's up.
get George to find us a target.
Slaving. Deslaving. Target acquired. In range. Can't see the target.
Fixed wing, 1 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 1 o'clock, searching.
I'm deslaved. Tracking target. Laser on. Lasers off. Tracking target. Can't see the target.
Well, I can, George.
DWASD.
Rifle. Rifle. Oi. Rifle.
Losing health. Laser on. Lasers off. Those are good hits. Target acquired. Blazing. Lasers off.
Rotor RPM low.
Tracking target. Laser on. Lasers off. Lasers off. Those are good hits. And slave. Deslaving.
I think we just completed that
Fixed wing. 1
I'm
o'clock.
deslaved.
Searching. Fixed wing. 1 o'clock. Searching.
I'm deslaved.
yeah, we've cleaned that up, I think. Let's just go down and have a quick sticky beak. Just to make sure. Still got one left. There was about 17 units in that convoy, 17, 18 units or something. And the pinvis off. The other ones are back there, burned out. So that's correctly identified as a wheeled unit. Although these ones only show the shots because the FCR scanned them when they were back there, where that shows the indication of where they're at. Now I just have a quick look up here and see that, make sure that none of them got up over the other side of the road. And the pinvis back on for that. Yep, we're safe. We destroyed that convoy. few misses were shot there.
Fixed wing, 6 o'clock, searching.